What's going on, y'all? Happy Monday. It's the last day of November, so getting in a couple of signings today, and I'm gonna hopefully close the month out pretty strong. If you saw one of my last videos, I mentioned that I got a signing that was very close to my house, so to kind of show you exactly how close it is, I'm gonna actually drive there. It's raining. It's been a crazy day weather-wise with all the rain, but I'm just leaving my house now and going to pull up to the signing, and I will let you guys know once I'm done. But since I'm only literally a couple minutes away, I figure I'd take you guys with me to this one. So I hope you had a great weekend. I have a new video coming. If it hasn't already posted, it's gonna be posted. It's a what's in my notary bag video, and so if you haven't seen that already, you should be seeing that pretty soon. So go take a look at that. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the things I mentioned in that video. But yeah, that's about it. And I'm literally almost here. So if you're counting the time, got a UPS person right here. And I have arrived. So how long was that? Not long at all. And this was a $100 signing. Literally, I could have walked here in 2 minutes, but I drove here in basically, a minute or so. So I'll talk to you guys when I'm done with this one. I'll see you later. All right, y'all. So I'm back in the car, finished that signing. It took about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And typically signings with two signers, like a husband and a wife, typically take longer, just because, obviously you have two people that need to sign, and then sometimes you have two different sets of, certain docs that you have to notarize. They have to sign and fill out, and you have to notarize. So that could, make it take a little longer. They were pretty straightforward in terms of, not reading through every single document. They just pretty much, signed where I told them to sign, after I gave them a brief description of what each document was. So that was great. But it took about an hour and 15 minutes. I think the package was 129 pages, and it was for a second home, not an owner-occupied property. So those packages tend to have, other documents that aren't in a normal owner-occupied refinance package. But interestingly, sometimes the signers don't have copies of their IDs for whatever reason, but you still have to have them present their ID, and then what I normally do is take a picture, and then I'll have to go back home and put the pictures into like a Word document and then print it out and include that with the package. So I had to go back home to do that, and while I was doing that, I went through the package one more time. So typically at a signing, when the signers sign a specific page, I will get the document back from them, and then I'll check it to make sure that they signed it correctly and completely. And then at the end of the signing, I flip back through the entire package to see if anything was missed. And most of the time, I actually will flip back through the package again once I get to FedEx, or once I get home before I go to FedEx to drop the package. In this case, when I went back home to print out the copies of their IDs, I flipped through the package and I noticed that we missed a checkbox on one of the 4506Ts there were 3 4506Ts, one for the husband, one for the wife, and then one for them together. When we were signing, you know, the husband filled out his. There's a checkbox that's there that is an attestation. They checked that box and then they signed and dated. He did it on his. She signed hers. She missed the checkbox, and I noticed at the table, and I caught it at the table that she missed the box. Then the one they have together, they both signed and dated it, but I noticed that when I got home that the attestation box wasn't checked. And so I'm like, man, fortunately their house is like only a minute drive away. I called them, I stopped by, rang the doorbell, and you know, the wife peeked out and checked the box, fortunately. But it just goes to show, you know, no matter how many times you do this, you know, it's not hard. It's very easy to make little, you know, mistakes, and those mistakes can be the difference between, you know, the signers having to re-sign the whole package. It could make the difference, you know, in whether you continue to get business from a specific signing service or title or escrow company. So I was glad that I caught that, and even more glad that I don't live that far away from them, and I could just swing back by and have them check that box, so that I could then go drop the package. But just kind of wanted to let you guys know or share that with you about that specific situation, because, you know, when you're a signing agent, accuracy and attention to detail is so important. No matter how many times you've done this, like I said, it's very easy to make a mistake. And on a 4506T, that checkbox is notoriously missed. So much so that in packages that I receive, sometimes in the instructions, they'll have a printed example of what it's supposed to look like when it's, you know, checked and signed correctly, because so many people just miss it because that little box in that section is so small. So, you know, if you've done loan signings, or if you're, you know, ramping up to do some loan signings, remember that about the 4506T. Don't forget to check the box. So important. And while it's not a document that has to be notarized, you know, it's still an important document, and you want to, you know, aim for 100% accuracy on your signing. So just kind of wanted to share that little situation with you, you know, as I'm headed to go now drop off the docs now that they're complete. But hope you guys are having a great day, and not spending too much on this Cyber Monday. But I'll see you guys in the next one. What's going on, guys? Good morning. As you can see, it's the next day. I'm wearing something a little different. So I woke up this morning pretty early. I'm usually up at about 5:30, 6 every day. Just, you know, doing everything to get my day in order. Spend some time with the family, get my son situated. He's not in school today. So, you know, just did that for the most part this morning. I originally had a signing scheduled for today that got canceled actually a few days ago. And then I almost double booked myself before that got canceled for another signing that I was gonna actually do for a friend of mine who's an investor. I was gonna have to go down to Trenton, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from where I am, but I was just gonna do that for him, and plus I haven't seen him in a while, so I was gonna just kick it with him for a bit. But since I realized I was double booking myself, I had to cancel on him. But then after the fact, this previous signing, you know, that was scheduled got canceled. So, you know, waking up this morning, I didn't have anything scheduled basically. But then I got a text at about right before 9, about 8:45, about a seller signing in my town, literally about 2 miles from where I live, about 5 minutes. I'm actually on my way there now. And so and it was scheduled for 10 o'clock. So I immediately called the signer, and he said, yeah, we're here, so you can come earlier, if you want to. So I said, great. So I went, got dressed, printed the docs. It's about a 50-page package, but there's like 6 copies of like the Alta and 3 copies of the closing disclosure. So it's really, more like 30 pages, if you really look at it that way. But I'm on my way there now. This is a $100 signing, which is great. And just kind of to put that into context, the package I did yesterday that was 2 minutes from my house was 130 pages, and that was $100. That was a refinance. This is a seller package that is 50 pages, really less. That's also $100, and this will take probably a third of the time, so not nearly as much time, and more or less, proximity wise, it's kind of the same, really. So that's kind of one of the dynamics in this business that you kind of have to roll with. Some signings are going to be longer and pay a certain amount. Sometimes they're going to be shorter and may pay less. They may pay more. It just kind of fluctuates, and you gotta just be able to roll with that, right? You can't knock the ball out the park on every single signing in terms of how much money you make. You got to take some of the little ones with some of the bigger ones, especially when you're starting out and you're kind of building the business. So they kind of balance out, in my opinion. This is really, I've done this kind of signing before. It only made $50, but I'm making $100 on this one, and the signing I did yesterday was probably really worth, more like $200 or $250 or whatever. So it all balances out, This was through a signing service, and I'm just glad that I was able to fill my, slot something into my schedule this morning, to make some money. It's the first day of December, so would like to have a better month this month than I had last month, although last month was my first full month in the business. November, I'm gonna actually do a video talking about how much I made in the month of November, my first full month, and so look out for that. But this is I'm going into my second full month in the business, and just hoping to have a better month, than I had last month. Although I don't think last month was bad. It was decent. But just always looking to scale, always looking to grow. I set a goal of wanting to do about 30 signings this month. I think that's very doable. That's roughly 5 to 6 a week, maybe more, maybe a little more, maybe 6 or 7 a week. That hopefully I can do. But look, it's a goal, right? If it's easily attainable, then you haven't set the bar high enough for yourself. So I set it a bit higher for myself, to outpace what I did last month, just to give myself something to work towards. And certainly if I hit that goal, I'll in terms of number of signings, I'll be able to meet my goal in terms of making more this month. So looking forward to that, and seeing what this month holds. I don't know, because I haven't been doing this that long, if December is historically a slow month or what. I would think it's somewhat slow, because people tend to check out, especially in the last few weeks of the month. But then again, some people are looking to, especially the banks, looking to get things done and close things out before year end. So we'll see what it's like. You'll obviously be with me on my journey as I do this. So we'll see how it goes. I obviously still haven't made it to this appointment yet. Actually, what's funny is that this signing is in my town, but it's further away than the signing that I did yesterday that was in the next town over. It was just literally up the street. This one is kind of on the other side of the town I live in, so kind of interesting. But I'm almost there. I actually just passed the street I need to go to, but it was a one-way, so I have to kind of circle around to actually get there. But I'll see you guys when I get out of this one. So I just finished up at that appointment. Didn't take but 30 minutes or so because there were so many copies of certain docs. And then we actually had to walk next door because one of the documents required witnesses. So we had to walk next door and have a witness sign a document. So that was interesting. Needless to say, but yeah, I'm done with that one. I'm going home to print out the IDs, scan back the package, and upload it for the title company, and I'll be able to go drop it hopefully shortly thereafter. The title company is actually in Florida. The property was in Florida, so yeah. But yeah, so on my way home, again, just 5 minutes away, so nothing exciting about taking the trip home per se. But yeah, just wanted to take you guys on this part of the trip. I'll see you later. So I just finished scanning back the package from that seller's signing, scanned it in, uploaded it to the signing service. Well, first I print out the IDs, scan the entire package, and then uploaded it to the signing service. And now I'm just looking at the order to make sure if I need to wait for confirmation before I actually drop the package. So I'm going to just hold on a second. I'll probably call the signing service as well just to double check before I drop the package. But yeah, that one is pretty much all done. Another thing that I almost forgot to mention is that in addition to that, I'm going to put the order in my Notary gadget, because I kind of had to, when I got the order, the signing, I just basically printed it out and confirmed with the signer, printed out and left. I didn't put it into Notary gadget, so I'm actually going to do that now just so I can track it. But you know, obviously it's very important to track everything you do in this business. Notary gadget is great for being able to track your signings, track your mileage and your expenses, and it helps you keep an eye out on, you know, how you're doing. You can also use it to manage all of your expenses, so it's great for that.